Before we begin, this episode includes a discussion around mental health and self harm. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs support, you can call or text 988 for help. Thanks for being here. Now, let's get into the conversation.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let Me Tell You Something. I am your host, Deldrian. So by this point, you probably have seen, or if you haven't seen, ask yourself the question, why haven't you? You've seen that I had my first interview with Dr. Smith, my former professor and mentor. So go and run that back. It's in two parts. It's a great conversation. But today's conversation is going to be a little heavy. Well, that conversation was a little heavy too, but this one's going to be kind of heavy and a little personal because I don't really like to be on here telling my business. Or do I like to be on here telling my business? I kind of do and I kind of don't. But anyway, let's get into it. So I have kind of been in a little bit of a funk. Well, a lot of bit of a funk recently. And I opened up about that on my TikTok the other night. And basically I said something to the effect of, I'm feeling like I don't feel valuable. I don't feel enough. I don't feel like I am just myself. I don't feel that great. And I think that so often we tell ourselves that, we're that B, we're that guy, we're that N, we're at the top of our game, don't nothing bother us. And sometimes we're bothered, very much so. And so I just have not felt that great. I felt in a funk, and I was really just putting that video out there. Honestly, I wanted some sympathy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I wanted a little sympathy because sometimes, when people post something on Facebook and you're like, oh, you clearly posting that for sympathy. I wanted some sympathy, but also I wanted people to understand that it's okay to not be okay. So the title of this episode is I'm Not Okay, and That's Okay. So you may be asking, why have I been in the funk? I feel like there are just certain things that just send me into a funk, and the bane of my existence that's always sends me into a funk is people, and more particularly relationships and love and things like that. I have not really been in a good space romantically recently. I was going to do an episode called Deldrian's in Love because I thought I was in love and I thought, I was going to be in my romance era, and that is no longer happening, unfortunately. So that has been a lot to deal with, and I don't want to put my business out there or put anybody on blast because it's not even that kind of situation where someone needs to be put on blast. It's just that it's very unfortunate when you think things are going one way and they are going a whole nother way and things end, and it's very upsetting. And just those kind of things always put me in a funk, and it always just leads me to believe that I am not really deserving of love and that I'm just not enough. And I feel like for me, when it comes to my romantic relationships and also my platonic interpersonal relationships, I give a lot of grace to people, and I allow people to be who they are, and I try to be understanding of people and their circumstances, and I try to be someone who's for redemption and reconciliation and all those things. But I feel like I'm not really giving that in response, and I feel like I invest a lot in people, and then I'm not always giving that same grace and courtesy back, and so it makes me feel bad. And it's really what I said on TikTok was, it's sad to not feel like you're enough to the people that you want to feel enough for. Because I can tell myself that I'm enough, that I'm valuable, that I'm all these things all day, but sometimes I'm just not feeling it, and I just have not really been feeling it. And then that also opens up this other conversation of giving people power to dictate how I feel about myself. And we can sit up there and say that people don't define us and all that, but you know what? Sometimes they do, and in some moments it does. When everything keeps going a certain way, it does have you looking at yourself like, am I enough? Am I valuable? Why does this keep happening to me? So that's what we're gonna unpack in this episode. So I've always struggled with confidence issues. I've always struggled with self-esteem. I've opened up about that on this podcast before. And so I feel like I see other people seemingly have easier times navigating romantic relationships and other interpersonal relationships. And I always think it seems so easy for them. Why is this not happening for me? And I feel like I am a good person. I feel like I'm a nice person. I put a lot into people. I'm a good friend. I try to really invest in getting to know people. And I feel like I don't really get a lot back, unfortunately. And I get in a funk. It really makes me feel sad. And I understand people say, oh, well, if they don't see your value, then they, shouldn't be in your life. And that's true. But, you want these people in your life. So sometimes it's hard to reconcile the thought of these people probably shouldn't be in your life because they don't value you, but you want them in your life for whatever reason. And so those are the two things that have been battling with. And when it comes to love, I feel like for me, and I've spoken about this before, when it comes to love and relationships, you should not look for other people to complete you. And I feel like maybe, just maybe, I've been looking at romance as a way to make me feel complete. And I think that I need to go on my own journey and really complete myself and really, as cliche as it sounds, learn to love on myself and I'm perfectly fine with enjoying my own company. I'm perfectly fine with doing things by myself, but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying you want to be in love. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be somebody's husband. I want to have that comfort and security of being in a relationship and getting to experience all the joys of life with somebody. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I may be a lover boy, if that's the thing. I know there's a lover girl. I may be a lover boy. I love love. I'm a hopeful romantic, not hopeless, hopeful. And I just think that, like, for instance, I am just not cut out for this current dating landscape. I just think people, either they don't know what they want, or they ghost you, or they lead you to think one thing and then they completely flip the script on you. Like, for instance, I was supposed to go on a date recently and the guy just disappeared, and then I'm texting like kind of what's going on, and then the guy probably thinks I'm crazy because I've texted him a dozen times, but and like, where did you go? Why aren't you communicating? How easy is it to say that you've fallen out of interest or something's come up? And I just think that you have people like me who then are sitting here in all this emotional turmoil, and you maybe ask yourself, why are you in emotional turmoil for someone that you barely know? But it hurts. It hurts when you put yourself out there and you're trying to foster connection and you're trying to foster these relationships and you're not getting anything back, and it hurts your self-esteem. And I know you shouldn't build your self-esteem on other people, but you know what? Of course, you're gonna absorb some of that. If you are constantly being hit with rejection and feeling like people are disregarding you, you're gonna start looking at yourself a little sideways. So I have been looking at myself a lot bit sideways, and I've kind of been in a funk because I want to have these relationships and I want to have these dynamics, and it just doesn't feel. I just have been really contemplating, am I really made out for love? Is my love story ever gonna happen? And I don't have the answer to that. But what I do know is I have been really trying to sit in my funk, because first of all, I'm gonna say, if you don't follow me on TikTok at Deldrian. The amount of people that I don't know who reached out to me and said some of the most beautiful, kind things from that video. And it's really just a testament of how important it is to be vulnerable with how you feel and what you're going through, because that is one of the great things about social media is you can connect with people all around the world. And sometimes the experiences that you feel like that are singular or universal. Everyone has felt not valuable, not enough, insignificant, passed over. And the amount of people that reached out to me in those comments of that video and told me that they feel similar or tried to pour into me and, tell me that it's okay to feel that way, but you are more than that, and that it's okay to go through the process of feeling that way, but the key is to not stay in that. And that is so true. So if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on a podcast platform, there is nothing wrong with being in a funk. There's nothing wrong with doubting yourself. There's nothing wrong with feeling like you're not enough. But the point that you need to really hone in on is you can't stay in that place. Because when you stay in that place, you're doing yourself a disservice. because you are enough. I know that I'm enough. I know that I'm valuable. I know that I'm special. I know that I am made for great things. And so are you. But sometimes life will get you down. So what do you do when life gets you down? And how do you navigate those moments? We're going to talk about this a little bit more after this quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us over on Let Me Tell You Something. If you've enjoyed what you've heard so far, let's keep that party rolling over on social media. Follow me on TikTok at Deldrian. Follow the podcast page on Instagram, Let Me Tell You Something. And follow us over on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends or family. Now let's get back to more conversation on Let Me Tell You Something. So, now this part, trigger warning, this may be a little heavy, and I'm going to try not to cry because crying on camera. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with crying on camera, but I don't want to cry on camera because I'm going to get a headache. So, what do you do in those moments when you feel hopeless, when you feel like you're not enough? And I have never had a moment where I was going to plan out to unalive myself. I've never sat down and say, this is what I'm going to do. But have I had fleeting thoughts of not wanting to be alive anymore? Yes, I have. See, Lord, I don't know why when I bring that up, that makes me want to cry. And I understand why some people unalive themselves. I really do. Because life will get you down. And you may think that these things are trivial. And that's another thing. The worst thing that you can tell people is try to minimize their problems. There will always be problems in the world that are bigger than what you're experiencing. There will always be people that are hungry. There will always be people going through something. And when you tell people that, well, what are you upset for? Because you got food. That is not helpful. Because first of all, you are further isolating somebody who is already probably on the brink. And then two, that is not a productive way of helping someone resolve the inner turmoil that is going on in their psyche, in their mind, in their heart, in their spirit. There is always going to be someone who has it worse than you, but that doesn't make what you are going through any less significant. And so for me, what I have though, I really do, I get upset with myself that I give people so much power that I can allow these kind of thoughts to creep into my mind to the point where I don't want to live anymore because someone's not texting me back or someone's not calling me or someone's cast me aside. And it hurts because it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's like these things that just pile up and pile up and pile up. And it continues this cyclical idea of self that I am not worthy of these relationships. And so I understand how people can be brought to those feelings because that's why I'm telling people when it comes to relationships, if you are not interested in somebody, if you're not interested in a relationship dynamic, let them know. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to be the one to look bad. But at the end of the day, you could potentially, you're giving someone an option to deal with this or not deal with this. You're giving them an option. But ghosting people and dragging people along is taking away their agency. It's taking away their autonomy. And we need to be treating each other with care. There is nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm not interested anymore. That's fine. But also, a lot of y'all should not be on dating apps because y'all are not in a place to date. Y'all do not have the emotional capacity to date. And you're not in a place mentally, physically, financially, whatever, to be anybody's anything. So don't put yourself in those positions. And for the people like me who give so much of yourself, there's nothing wrong with offering grace, but sometimes we have to see the signs. And sometimes people are not worth your time. I am not somebody that thinks I'm better than anybody, but I do know I am better than certain situations that people, and I am better than certain scenarios and certain things that people have going on. And sometimes I will turn into Helen Keller and miss a red flag with staring me right in the face. I turn into a whole Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles. And we just have to do better about recognizing signs. And also in those moments when you feel hopeless, I implore you to reach out to somebody, because no matter what you are going through, there can be another day. And your life is valuable, your life is precious, and you are enough. And you may, and even in that moment where you may not feel that, Because I know you can sit there and tell yourself that you are enough over and over and over again. And that may just bounce off and not even. I'm telling you, reach out to somebody. Even if it's just a fleeting thought, tell somebody. Because there is somebody who's probably feeling the exact same way that you're feeling. Especially right now, we have people who are struggling, can't pay bills, can't pay mortgages, rent. So much is going on, and people are feeling more isolated and alone and hopeless than ever before. And we have the most beautiful opportunity to really lean in. We are in the age of technology, and it feels like we are more disconnected than we've ever been. And we have the power to change that. And so when I'm talking about feeling hopeful, I'm not going to unalive myself. I'm not, so you don't have to worry about that. But in those moments when those things happen, I do allow those thoughts to exist. I don't try, because I think we do ourselves a disservice when we try to play into this idea that we're never going to have those thoughts. You're never going to have bad days. You're going to have bad weeks, bad months, bad years. You're going to go through things. But there's always an opportunity, as long as you are alive, to come out of that. And it may be slow. It may not be linear. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, but you can overcome it. And I know for me, as I'm trying to get myself out of this funk, I look at the things. I look at how far I've come. There was a time where I wouldn't even talk in public. I was afraid to even talk on the phone. You can't even see me. And look at me now. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm everywhere talking. You seeing me. Hair, everything. And I'm talking to y'all. So I look at how far I've come, not in a toxic positivity way where I try to overcompensate for the negative by throwing a bunch of positive, by saying, look what you've overcome in moments where you thought you could never overcome. So what makes you think that you can't overcome this? And so in moments where you feel hopeless, remember there is always hope, because you have been that hope time and time and time again. And things may not be going your way, but it doesn't mean you should give up. And I'm not gonna give up on y'all. And we're gonna take one more break, and we're gonna land this plane, and we're gonna spread a little hope and a little joy. We'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. So when talking about something like suicide, and I feel like so often we talk about suicide and unaliving and things that are heavy. Nobody wants to really talk about that. And it's easy to post, the suicide hotline. It's easy to, share this and share that. But are we actually showing up in real life? Do we actually know what is going on in each other's lives? Do we actually know what's going on with ourselves? And I know for me, I have issues of abandonment. I have issues of inadequacy. And I know that I search for my own value through other people. And that is never going to get me to where I need to be. And so I do need to go on my own journey of self-love, my own journey of really understanding who I am and my power and my strength outside of the relationships, because a man does not define me. A friendship does not define me. A job does not define me. Money in my bank account does not define me. And it doesn't define you either. And what does define you is who you are. And the more time you spend trying to find out who you are and making sure that your foundation is rooted in self and not outside things, the better off you're going to be. It is okay to feel hopeless. It is okay to feel like you're in a funk. It is okay to feel like you're not doing enough. But guess what? You are. You are doing enough, because you're showing up as yourself. And even days where you don't feel like showing up, that's okay. It is so, when I tell you it is so okay to not be okay, it is so okay with you not feeling it. It's okay. You, in the words of the GOAT Mariah Carey, I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. And some days I don't got it. I've been feeling like I don't got it. And that is fine. But I will have it. And so will you. And so to anyone who is out there struggling, reach out to people. And if you don't have anyone to reach out to, Google something. Look up. There are people out there who are going through the exact same thing that you are going through. And even though you can't see those people, they're out there. If you ever feel like this life is not worth living, I'm here to tell you that it is. Because there have been so many beautiful things about life that have, even when I feel at my lowest, at my most hopeless, there are things that I can tangibly think about and grab onto that keep me going. I have I have two amazing parents. I have great friends. I have the opportunity to be what I want to be if I just continue on what I'm doing. And you know what? Sometimes you may not reach. I'm gonna tell you, it's very easy to say if you just believe you get it. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you don't reach the goals that you want to get to, but that doesn't mean that your life isn't meaningful. You may not get that job, you may not get that car, you may not be a millionaire or billionaire, but you are still valuable. Your life still matters because you're not defined by those things. You're not defined by anything but you. And so if you're in a funk, if you're feeling like this isn't it, you're feeling like you don't have anything to give, I'm here to tell you that you do, because you've given it before and you'll give it again. And no man, woman, or they will define you. You know what? To the people, like I said, these dating streets are hard. These romantic streets are hard. And maybe I do an episode about that. Another follow-up to Deldrian's relationship roundup. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I will say that I have been in a romantic funk. And while I do hate that those kind of things cause me to spiral, I'll be the first to tell you I'm a crasher. I'm a spiral. Like, I will have things send me into a whole turmoil. But I will always bring that back around because I am strong. And not in I don't feel no pain, in a way that I have overcome and I will continue to overcome. And so will you. So if you feel like if you see this and this resonates with you, reach out to me. All the social media information is out there. Reach out to me. Reach out to each other. I want to build a community for Let Me Tell You Something that is so deep and so thorough that nobody feels alone. And nobody feels like that they could potentially leave this earth because they felt like nobody cares. Because I care. And there are people that will care. And there are people that will show up for you. And there are people that do care that you are going through something. Because those people who reached out to me in that comment section, those people don't know me. I don't know any of those people. But they saw that message and they connected to it because they felt seen by what I was saying. So you can't heal for what you don't reveal. And by revealing things and by being open and being vulnerable, it's not corny, it's not cringy to feel your feelings and to be bothered and to be hurt by the thing. If you are a conscious thinking person in this world, the things that are going on in life are going to hurt you. They're going to harm you. They're going to have you feeling some kind of way. And when you reveal those things, you can go through the process of working through them and overcoming. Because how would it have been for me to have taken my life and knowing that I had so much to be? And so do you. And to the people who have felt like they didn't have enough and have unfortunately taken their life, that is unfortunate that they could not see a way out. But I can tell you and assure you that there is a way out. And I know my worth and I know my value, even on days where I don't want to hear all that. I know it. And so I'm going to go through my process. I'm going to go through my journey, and I'm here for you as you go on yours. And that's really all I got. I said I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. So that's all I got. So I hope y'all have gotten something from this. If you want me to talk about this more, just leave a comment. Please make sure to like the video, share the channel, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me on X, and let's just continue to build this community. I am so blessed and thankful for all of y'all who continue to tune in and to support. Please go watch my interview with Dr. Smith. I hope to do more interviews. I hope to continue to turn out content and videos for y'all because I'm trying to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. So I love y'all, and I will see you next time. Bye.